children, have you ever met the bogeyman before? No, of course you haven't, for you're much too good, I'm sure. Don't you be afraid of him if he should visit you. He's a great big coward, so I'll tell you what to do.
Here comes the
Boogeyman, don't let him come too close to you. He'll catch you if he can. Just pretend that you're across a dial, and you will find that Boogeyman will run away a mile.
And welcome back to Call of Cthulhu. We're going to continue with the search of Sandra's room to see what information they can find.
I'm going to start with her bookshelf, see if there's anything that doesn't go with the rest of her, like class textbooks. Or...
Yeah, you see a couple of chemistry books, you see a couple of other class books, but it's all stuff that you would expect a college student to be taking. There's some math books, there's a history book on there, just general college courses for credits.
Okay, so
there's not anything out of ordinary from her class book standpoint. On her nightstand, however, you do notice that there are two books sitting there. One appears to be a journal of some sort, and the other one looks more like a diary.
The journal probably have class notes in it, but the diary... might just take.
I mean,
both.
you can take both. You can look at both if you want to before you actually take anything. Nobody is actively in the room, so nobody would notice if you took anything.
Okay, so we'll do that. I'll take a look at each just to see if anything jumps out.
The diary is just that, a diary. There are several weeks of entries at this point. The last one being Friday night. Looks like most of the entries, based on what you're just skimming off the front, most of the entries tend to take place before she goes to bed. Looks like she just gathers her thoughts for the day and puts everything down before she goes to sleep. So the last entry that you find in there is from Friday night. The journal isn't so much a class journal with notes in it. It looks like it's more of a dream journal.
Oh, that's different.
That looks relatively new. There are a total of 6 entries, and just looking at them, it looks like they're all basically the same. I mean, you'd have to actually read through it to make sure, but you're seeing a lot of similarities creep up.
This one looks more interesting. I think this one might come along.
So you're just taking the journal then?
Just... No, I think I would take both. Just in case anything links up there.
Okay.
As far as, dream and then, like, a person in the diary.
Alright. You can take both of those. Is there anything else you would like to look for?
See if there's anything hidden. I won't dig through, like, her drawers, but I know if you're gonna hide something, you're gonna hide it in the one place no one's gonna look.
Okay. Make a spot hidden roll.
Made it by 2.
Alright. There's not anything in what you would consider the usual hiding places. There is, however, something that you find underneath the mattress, between the mattress and the box spring. It looks like a small velvet pouch.
What's inside the pouch?
You open the pouch. It looks like there's a small pendant. It is an odd round shape. It's not a normal circle. It looks like it was carved, so it's not quite perfect. There are a series of small symbols drawn into this thing. What I'm going to need you to do is make a sanity roll.
Ah, crap. Roll low. 12.
Alright, let me double check something once here quick, because it's been a while.
Your eyes are good. Because you passed.
You have the ability to, like, read?
Yes, I do. I try not to use it.
Why not?
Because it takes away sanity points.
Some things are best left unseen. There's a price to pay.
I can get any information I want, but there's always a price that comes with it. Oh, also my stats go down by 5 when I use it. And I'm physically weakened by the experience.
Okay. You successfully made your roll, so you will lose 1 point of sanity.
That's better than the 10 I could lose. Or more. Or go insane.
Possibly not. So you don't lose a lot of sanity from looking at it, but the one thing that you do notice is the symbols while you're looking at it, it almost looks like they're kind of waving back and forth, almost like you're looking at it through heat waves. Like they seem to kind of writhe about, though they stay in the same general shape.
Okay.
It's very unnerving to look at for long periods of time, but you can't seem to make sense of what the shapes are.
That'll require further investigation.
Correct.
Take that with.
All right. That is the only other thing that you will find in the room.
Okay. Make sure it looks like nothing's been overly disturbed.
Okay.
Then I'll come back out.
All right. You come back out. I'm assuming during this time, were there any specific questions you wanted to ask Claire, or are you basically just making small talk trying to figure out where Sandra is?
I was probably just making small talk to pass the
Okay.
time.
You'll come out.
I have an idea where she was, and I'm still debating on whether or not to tell her roommate the graphic truth that Sandra has been murdered.
And then she can make her sanity check.
Yeah. So basically, I'll be asking about her studies and how they're going, just to appear as though I'm a very concerned professor.
Okay. Not a problem. So if you do decide to tell her anything, then please do. But a lot of the responses you're going to get are, yeah, I wish I knew where she was. I didn't know exactly where she was going. There wasn't anyone weird that she was hanging out with. I hope nothing bad happened.
Yeah, I generally got that feeling from her when we
Yeah.
got here. So yeah. Is everything in order?
Yes. Let's head out.
Okay, thank you, Miss Townsend. Remember, say no to narcotics. Stay
And
in
boys.
school. It's definitely boys. They all want one thing.
I understand, Professor Carter.
I'm gonna hand her one of my business cards that if she hears anything, to give me a call or just anything.
Oh, okay. I'll be sure to do that. I'll get a message to you if I hear anything.
Thank you for your time. Sorry to disturb you.
Not a problem, Professor.
Get back to your homework now.
Thank you.
And then we'll leave.
Okay. And where are you going from there?
I
Well,
would think to meet up with the others.
yeah, Roy said he's heading to the speakeasy, and all things seem to point to that destination.
I'll let you know what I found. Found her diary and her journal. The journal seems to be more of a dream journal. Are you familiar with those at all?
Yes.
They're pretty self-explanatory, but
This is where
It's a
people
journal.
write down what they have dreamed, correct?
yes, and they're a little disturbing. I'm gonna need to take a closer look at it and see if any of what's happening in her dreams sync up with any individuals in her diary. If she talks about anybody in
Names
her
of
diary.
places.
I show him the bag and say, in here is a pendant that really had an effect, at least on me.
Can you describe the pendant
I'll describe the way
without having me
described
look
it.
at it?
Right, it's
Yes.
got symbols.
I am familiar with the elder sign.
It is not the Elder Sign.
Well, that seems odd. Perhaps at some safe location. I'll
I've
have to
got
look
some.
at it.
All right. And from there, I'm assuming you're heading back into town.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll meet back up.
We're gonna try to get in early.
You're gonna try and get in early.
Yeah.
Okay.
You go past the hot dog vendor.
He's like, what are you doing? Do you guys want a hot dog? I got hot dogs here, like a quarter.
You want me to take care of this? I'm accustomed to this kind of stuff. We'd like to order 2 hot dogs with everything on it.
That's an extra nickel. I'll tell you what, Joe.
I was gonna use fast talk.
Let me make this easier for you. Yes, make a fast talk roll.
Woohoo! Maybe not. Yes, made it by 2.
I keep his attention.
It is fast talk is an opposed roll.
Oh.
He has not rolled well, however. So he's like, oh, okay. Yeah, it'll be 50 cents. I'll get you your hot dogs. However, if you're looking for everything, I'm afraid you're going to have to go inside. I got the condiments in there. There's too many flies out here. I don't want to...
I completely understand. Pay him $2.
Alright. I break.
he did not give you a $20 bill.
I was gonna say.
He probably gave you 2 5s and 10 ones.
And you also bought dinner. Remember, you bought dinner.
He may actually given you a couple of dollars in change because you can put it in a sock. Hit people. All right. So you pay him. So, oh, don't forget your hot dogs.
Thank you.
He'll actually give you 2 hot dogs.
All right. I'm gonna eat them. I'm freaking starved.
You guys just ate dinner, you
dinner.
said.
Yeah,
I'll make
well,
sure
I'm gonna keep them for. Well, I'll keep them for dessert.
I'm gonna keep
then.
them for later.
Keep 'em later.
Yeah.
I'm a hobo, sir.
I'll make sure a lot of people know that your particular hot dogs are the best in town.
I'd appreciate that. I do love selling hot dogs.
We'll go into the tavern.
All right. At this point, I'm going to say it's about 6:30, so it's still before opening time, but it looks like they've got everything basically set up. However, immediately when you walk inside,
How known to this particular place are we? He's a drunk, and I'm sure as a reporter I would have. This is probably where most of my stories start.
yeah,
So
you're basically everybody in town has seen you somewhere. You being seen at a speakeasy is not overly odd. I mean, it's a good place to get information on, and you've never ratted them out to the police. So, I mean, they have no reason to try and kick you out, but they generally know what you look like. I mean, you haven't been in this particular one. This one is, I want to say relatively new, but it's been open for a couple of months at this point. You just haven't had a reason to come here. You have probably been in here at least once since it opened.
Right.
Their booze is not necessarily cheap. There are definitely other places where you can get cheaper booze. But the stuff that they do have is good, all things considered.
Right.
A little bit more high class than what your usual fare is.
That's why I suggested greasing palms. Because I know we were going to need extra cash. You always need extra cash at these places. I'm just going to sit down and just order, well, he's going to order.
Again, I jumped a little bit ahead of myself. When you go in, originally, it looks like it is almost like a deli shop kind of setup. But when the guy sees you carrying your hot dogs and he's like, oh, okay, you're looking for the condiments, right?
Condiments, yes.
Yeah, I keep them in the back. Just knock 3 times.
Alright. I'll knock 3 times.
Yeah, you'll see the fucking little people thing come over. It's like, all right, and then the door will open. He'll let you in. It's like we're not finished setting up yet. We're not going to be selling for another half an hour.
That's fine. Me and my friend here just wanted to get out of the
want to get
weather.
out of heat and or cold, depending on time of the year.
I'll take it from here. Thank you.
It's
early fall
it's-
weather.
for what it's worth. It's September,
Okay.
so it is neither hot
it's late
nor
summer.
cold.
We need to get out of that perfect weather.
That's odd, but I ain't gonna ask you why you're
It's
here.
been a long week.
Why don't you just
Tuesday.
relax?
Tuesday.
What the fuck? It's been a long Monday. Yesterday.
You're a reporter, right? You know how to talk your way in and out of things, right?
No, he just listens and
He's
sees.
supposed to.
He observes.
You're the piece of shit. You're supposed to.
I'm the piece of shit that got us in here.
You just stuffed 2 hot dogs in your pockets.
Dessert. We'll just sit down wherever it's convenient for them.
All right.
I'm not going to make any trouble.
Well, like I said, the place looks like it's basically set up. They're just trying to get things ready behind the bar.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like-
We'll just sit down.
Because they don't leave the bar set up all the time. Like they have to tear the stuff down and then set it up every night in case there's a raid or something during the day.
Right. We'll just wherever they want us to sit, we're going to sit there. We're not going to cause any problems.
Okay, that's fine. You'll basically have about half an hour to yourselves before they start letting other people in. About the time that they actively open up is when Alex will arrive. You can park your car probably around the block. You're not going to be able to park directly in front, nor probably would you want to.
Right.
You know, with all that blood all over the front end.
Hey, Nicholas, how about I get you a drink for getting us in here?
God
early?
bless you. God bless you. It might not be such
Get the good
a...
booze before
Yes. The good booze. I like the
everyone
good
else gets
booze.
in here and takes it all.
You
20.
might not be a total jerk like the
not.
others think you are.
$20, not enough to get you the good booze.
Go.
No, it doesn't matter. I don't need to actually get him anything. I can get
Oh,
him
I know good
alcohol.
booze, Matt. I know good booze.
Hand him a bottle. It says Listerine.
This is wonderful.
Not quite what you're looking for.
No,
It's a weird blue drink.
What's this, mint?
It's
Fresh.
a mint
Fresh.
julep. It's from across the pond, as they say.
Kentucky.
You haven't even started drinking yet.
And we're off. I am going to. I'm gonna try to spot anything out of the ordinary around here. I doubt anything's going on. Like when it starts getting really busy.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and wait for that roll until it's actually busy,
Oh, okay.
and we'll get there.
Mhm.
But again, around 7 o'clock, they start letting people in. Alex, you're able to get the car parked.
I'll go up to the hot dog guy and say, "Can I get a hot dog and access to the speakeasy?"
That is.
Fast talk. I made it by 13.
Check it.
Yeah, I don't think you actually need to roll fast talk when you talk fast.
Too late.
He's like, that's a little more of a direct question than you generally get, but yeah, 25 cents for the hot dog,
All right.
of course. If you're looking for condiments, they're inside.
Gotcha. I'll head inside.
You walk in, deli shop. The guy behind the deli shop thing is like, we're getting ready to close. Oh, you got a hot dog. You're probably looking for some ketchup. It's in the back. Just knock 3 times.
All right. I'll knock 3 times.
All right. Guy opens the door. Sees you standing there.
Condiments.
It's around a
please.
little bit. All right. Opens the door.
I'll walk in.
All right. There are not a lot of people here yet, but you do manage to spot Nick and John sitting at a table.
I'll join them at the table.
All right.
Hey, buy me a drink.
I already got one.
You do see he does have a drink, but it is almost empty.
All right.
What did I end up getting him?
How much money did you want to spend?
I don't know. The transaction for
Half
19
dollar.
gold money.
$50 is
Well,
$1 would get me probably
Probably get you
a
a
scotch.
nice-
Maybe not a scotch. Bourbon.
Maybe not an old scotch, but yeah.
Yeah.
a dollar will probably get you
What's the cost of the nicest?
well with prohibition,
Bourbon.
like a dollar might get you a bottle, not a bottle, but like a glass of gin.
We need to look up Boardwalk
If you want to get
It's all
if you want to
whiskey.
get actual bourbon, you're probably looking at $2, maybe $3 for a glass.
You don't want to give me that kind of stuff. Just give me whatever $1 would be the extent of.
All right.
So it's gin. It ain't bathtub gin,
But it's gin.
but it is bathtub gin, but it doesn't taste like bathtub
That's up
gin.
gin. I'll take it.
It tastes like somebody made it in the shower.
And I'm telling you, that Red Sox Babe Ruth trade is going to work out for the Red Sox for years to come.
You gonna finish your drink, or you gonna sit here and blab it?
I figured I could do both.
Yeah, it's weird. Like he's talking, but the drink is still going down. You don't know how he does it.
It's a magic act.
You could swear you don't actually see him pick up the glass, but it just
Hey, Alex, you wanna share a drink on someone else's dollar?
How much you got left?
Doesn't matter. How you wanna share a drink on someone else's dollar?
Don't be that guy.
Sure.
I get more.
okay.
Did you find out anything about the
I won't. By the way,
girl?
I'm not drinking anything.
All right. Do you buy yourself a drink to have sitting in front
Yeah.
of you? Okay.
Turns out,
I'm a murderer.
turns
I'm
out,
a creepy murderer, dude.
Sandra may have frequented this particular speakeasy.
That's nothing too surprising.
But she hangs out with the snooty rich crowd.
Phew.
Also,
So-
nothing too surprising.
So if we see any of those types come in here,
I'm sure you won't be able to handle it.
keep your ears
Open.
peeled.
You're with the rich girl. I'm sure you can handle it.
Yeah, well, no.
Well, we gotta wait until... We still have a while to wait. We gotta wait until they're at least placid enough to loosen their lips a bit.
Right.
I mean, they're at least... What the fuck would they say?
Sauced.
Sauce.
Sauced enough.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, nothing but good things for the Red Sox here on out.
Yeah, yeah. Raise
About,
the glass.
about 15 or 20 minutes later, the professor and Madame Kalova will also show up. I'm not going to run you through the same hot dog thing, but the same thing happens. Gotta save some time here. And
I'll
there.
give Joe my hot dog as well. But
Oh my god, I'm starving. I'll eat it. No problem.
You can use the...
Yeah.
as a condiment.
I'm dipping it
It's
into
soaking
the
the bread.
Yeah, it's great.
One thing you do notice, once people get in, the hot dogs generally go in the garbage. Like, most of the other people who are coming in here are not actually eating the hot dogs. I
I'm
mean,
gonna have to go back to their garbage can. I'm just gonna have to remember this place.
it tastes like a hot dog. I mean,
I don't understand. It's not that bad. I mean, I've had worse hot dogs. I've had worse stuff. You have no idea.
Oh, look, our friends.
I can't wait to hear about it.
Yeah.
Drink up.
It was odd. I didn't get any ketchup.
Do you want it? Oh, thank you. I'll eat it. I'll eat all of their hot dogs.
All right.
I will drink their milkshakes if I have to.
nobody has.
Is he
mentioned
walking
it.
in with like the cane and everything?
walking
and
stick
his dapper
and-
look?
Yes, holding a hot dog, looking for condiments, which it never gave me.
I pull him over. I pull him over to sit down at booth as quick as
We're
possible.
gonna have you talk
Okay.
about how this all works.
Thank you, young man.
Yeah, and basically for everyone except for the professor and probably Alex, the rest of you know that actually charging people for admittance to a speakeasy is generally not heard of for most speakeasies. So they are trying to limit what kind of people get into the establishment. So just so you have a general idea of what kind of clientele
You
you're
don't want any
seeing.
rebel rousers.
They want
Except for Nick.
the high class
Yeah.
people in here.
But again, carry on.
So, any information about the bird?
I pull out my writing tablet.
Well, we know she's been missing since the weekend.
Okay.
According to her roommate, she disappears frequently. But I've got 2 books to read through, and I found something in her room that I don't know what it is specifically, but it's powerful. Or it's got something attached
Can
to
you
it.
explain it to me?
I'll explain it to you. It's a circle. There's
Can I use a cult?
You can use a cult. You can also use Cthulhu Mythos if you have it.
I might.
One.
Oh, never mind.
Okay.
It's like he has. He knows
You're
exactly what it
you're
is.
using a cult though, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't have to.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like some cult thing you may have heard from some superstitious spooks back in the war.
Yeah.
Like you've never seen any of them, but apparently they used them for something or another, like to give other people bad luck, like they might hide it on them or something.
So it's a curse charm. It's not a protection charm.
Not from what you know, and you're positive this is definitely not a protection charm.
it was
But-
hidden under her mattress.
Can I take a look at that, Miss Kowova?
You may not want to look at it.
I'll look at it now.
It gave me the heebie-jeebies, but be my guest.
If I know anything about
I-
this, I am going to look down into my drink while he opens it up.
I snatch it fairly aggressively and sort of kind of leaf
Oh.
through it and see if I can recognize anything because I've...
The book
You're talking.
or
Oh,
the book of the
I thought
pen.
you were talking about the pendant.
No, the book.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Which book?
the one that had weird writing in it.
The dream
Journal.
journal. Yeah.
Mhm.
The
Okay.
dream journal.
How intently are you reading it?
I'm figuring I would just leaf through it, not
All right.
to like I'm not reading every line by line.
There are several entries. A lot of them appear to be the same. Like you see the same general words keep creeping up, the same general sentence structure for everything. Without actually reading it, though, skimming through it, it seems to be something about drowning, but that's not an unusual dream for people to have. Everybody's afraid of drowning. It's a thing that people...
It's real peculiar. This girl
shows up
seems to
on.
be like a broken record. They had those? They had those.
Records?
A broken
Yeah.
record.
Yeah.
Could I see
A
that book
broken
then as well?
phonograph. A skipping phonograph.
Could I see that book as well then?
No, I have it. Hold on.
Well, he's just leaving through it.
I look. Hold on. I'll get to the part where I look more intently. I started to look. Did you have any drawings in there?
There are 2 drawings. You are looking at it intently at this point?
Yeah,
Okay.
because he's getting. I want to look at it.
There are in fact 6 entries. There are dates next to them, and they all appear to be 3 or 4 days apart from each other, and looks like they started maybe 2 weeks before she disappeared. That math doesn't make sense. 3 weeks before she disappeared.
It's about the time she got to college then.
This is your 2nd year.
No, I meant well, she would have the summer break. So basically, it would start.
Since she came back from summer break.
Mm-hmm.
Like a week or so
Basically, the gist of the story is at the beginning of the dream, she's kind of flying over an ocean somewhere. Like there's no land inside; it's just water. And then she looks up and she sees the stars, but there's a series of stars that shine brighter than everything else, and she kind of has that drawn out there. But it's kind of hard to tell what exactly constellation it is. Like, none of it makes any sense to you. You're not an astronomer.
And then I go to the last entry.
Well, reading through it,
Oh,
I'll give you the entirety of the text. Like, there's more. Like, after that, it seems like she plunges down into the water. But she's not drowning. Like, she's not wet. There appears to be some sort of bubble around her. And she plunges deeper into the water until she can no longer make sight of the land. All there is around her is darkness, except for a strange glowing that starts to appear beneath her, and she continues falling down. When she gets to the bottom, there's a strange, broken city around her. And there are these strange shapes and shadows flitting about. And she's not able to... There's no distinct description of those, but she has a general sketch of the city itself. And then, right before the dream ends, there's this horrifying sound, like some great creature screaming in anger and frustration. And one of the buildings explodes outwards, and there's this great winged shape that emerges and lurches forward, stepping towards her slowly until it grasps down with one of its claws and crushes her. And that's when the dream
visibly
ends.
shiver.
In fact, I'm going to need you to make a sanity roll.
Ah. You want to go over and get to the broken city?
What you want to do is you want to roll percentile. You want to roll under your sanity.
Okay.
Your total.
Your current sanity.
Okay,
Yeah.
current sanity.
40.
Is that under your current
Yeah.
sanity? Okay. So you will not lose any sanity from this. But it is definitely... Like, the way it's written is very... It's a lot more descriptive than what I'm making it out to be. There's a lot of emotion that gets translated with it as you're reading it. And she has a sketch of the dark shape, but there's no real distinctness to it. It seems like she was able to describe it better in word than she was able to draw it, which you're kind of glad that that was the case, because you don't want to know what this thing actually is. You just get a feeling of dread the more you look at it and try to ponder it. But all of them seem to be the exact same thing. Like, the stars are always the same, and then there's the sinking.
Same dream over and over. I don't know exactly what this means, but I'm not very comfortable reading this anymore, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna go to the last page quick, or the last entry.
The last entry is the exact same as that one. That one was dated on Thursday.
I can't make heads or tails of any of this, but
May I see the drawing of the stars?
yeah, here you go. And I gave it back as aggressively as I took it.
I'm gonna make an astronomy check.
Okay.
How old are you?
Oh,
Hot 9.
What you notice about the stars that she has drawn out there is it's not a constellation, but judging from the way it's laid out, it looks like something from the southern hemisphere. It looks like some of the other stars that she has drawn there, you can pick out some other constellations or the edges of what you would assume are some of those constellations. But the only way they would be in that configuration wouldn't be for another 3 years. It would be at some point in 1929. Without going back and checking some charts, you can't put an exact date on it, but you know that it would be sometime like 3 years from now before those stars would even be close to the positions they're drawn in.
Okay.
I will peek at the pictures and try to use Cthulhu Mythos to see if the picture would have any meaning to me.
Go ahead and roll.
And I'll take a look around the room quick because I don't know how long I was reading that.
41, I would have failed.
You failed? Yeah, you can't.
I can't figure it out.
Nope. Is anybody else actively reading the Dream Journal?
I was gonna read it, but I wasn't gonna like read the words. I wanted to make a psychology roll to see if her handwriting had changed, to see if she was like
Okay.
writing it rather quickly. No, I failed, but 19.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like the same thing over again. It just seems like a recurring dream. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean anything from a psychological standpoint. I mean, it would imply some sort of indecision. Like there was something that was bothering her, but there's nothing about the handwriting that would lead you to believe that anything has changed from when it began to when it ended. Chances are good she was probably seeing somebody about this to begin with, which is why she would have started the Dream Journal. So it's hard to tell whether or not this is something that only started 3 weeks ago, or if it was something that started before then, that she's only starting to bring up now.
I'm gonna. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna start reading the diary.
Diary might
That syncs
yes.
up with this time period of the dream
Hey
journal.
Thomas, you taught this girl, right?
Yeah, she was
In
a
the
student.
last 3 weeks.
Well, she didn't come to class for the last few days.
Did you notice anything weird about her for those? I don't know how much you pay attention to the individual students. I mean,
I do see
Maybe.
hundreds of students each day. I tend to lecture about history. Therefore, unless the student actually comes to me for help, I do have trouble singling out anyone who has trouble, and I make it a point not to
she never
stare
like,
Andy.
showed
at
up
the
late
young
for
students.
classes.
As a matter of fact, can you make a knowledge roll?
I certainly can.
Oh, I'm sorry, no.
You know, yeah. I know lots. 94. I have a 95%.
Oh!
All right.
I'm knowledgeable as fuck.
You don't remember the specifics, but she did ask you a couple of questions about some ancient ruins, but she never really went into any specifics about it. But without having like a place in mind, you couldn't link that up to any other historical thing. She said it was something that was submerged, so you said, you know, you might have given her saying like it possibly could be like Atlantis or maybe this.
But that's all hogwash and
Yeah.
poppycock.
I mean,
so-
there's not any other place you can think of because I don't believe Pompeii was discovered yet.
No, Kristen, historian.
Well, there have been
I
some
would have to
Mediterranean,
double check, but I don't think
I
so.
don't think.
some Mediterranean ruins.
Pompeii was not found until the 40s, I think.
Yeah. So I mean, there's not any large cities underwater that anyone is aware of.
The only thing would be Atlantis.
Yeah,
Which is
and
what-
that's
That's a
all.
prevailing.
That's all superstitious nonsense.
Well, not necessarily during that time period.
There were
'Cause
people
there
looking,
was
but they
Plato
never found it.
that wrote it.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm sure you believe in the Hyperboreans too.
And what was this girl getting into?
What's wrong with the hyperbole?
Well, I don't know, but perhaps we'll find out next time. Thanks everybody for watching.
Run your fingers down the wall.